to be able to actually interact with your governor, to interact with your senators, to interact with your representative. Our only representative is Lisa Blunt Rochester, and she is an amazing woman. And every time I hear her, she gets me fired up, and she gets my wife fired up, which is hard to do, and she accomplishes it. So she's doing something right.
So talk to us about campaigning with a 4-year-old. I've got a 4-year-old, and he is high energy. And, I know he's also very clingy and isn't happy if I'm not around a lot. So, what is it like to have a young child and be balancing working and campaigning and all of that?
So it adds another layer of issues. I miss out on a few things, and that part's hard, but there's some upsides too. So a couple quick stories. She actually went during that. My wife gets migraines, and she had a migraine one weekend, and we had canvassing and scheduled, and I had like 8 volunteers that were going out with me, so I didn't want to cancel it. So I said, my daughter's name is Josie. I said, Josie, you want to go knock on doors with me? Or actually, we call it meetings. Dad, you want to go to Daddy's meeting with him? And she said, yeah. So she went out knocking doors with me, and I was with my campaign manager that day knocking, and we got to the point where like the volunteer shift was over. So I took like the truckload of volunteers back I had to our meeting spot. And I was like, all right, Josie, you want to go get ice cream? What do you want to do? And she's like, I want to go knock on more doors, Daddy. And I was like, okay, well, let's go. Let's go finish out the neighborhood. So that part was pretty cool. So we've been taking her to a lot of things. Like she went to the local women's march she was at in was January, whatever that was. January, yeah. And she went to a few other marches that were in the area, and then we took her to like the Keep Our Families Together rally we had at our Capitol in Dover at the Legislative Hall, and it had to have been 115 degrees that day. But we were there, and we're interacting with people, walking around, talking to people, and she'd gotten used to going to the other events where there was a march associated with them. And at some point she says, Daddy, when are we going to march? And I'm like, Josie, it's 115 degrees out. You are the only person here that wants to march. But it made me think we're raising her right. She's already like so into the events and interacting with all that, and she's got a really good head on her shoulders. So that part, like those little moments, that makes it worth it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's an amazing little kid. She's not that I'm going to take credit for it. She's really smart, so I will take credit for it.
So you mentioned that you're 37 years old. You are a younger candidate. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about sort of what reception you've gotten going around and knocking on doors. Have people largely been really receptive to your campaign?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think people love to see a fresh face and new ideas and younger people wanting to get involved. I think I'm the youngest candidate on our ballot in the state this year, and I actually had a lot of involvement with group Run for Something. So running for office is something I always thought I'd do. Like I remember back to second grade, I was one of 4 kids in my class that voted for Michael Dukakis in our mock election. So like I've always been into politics. I really can't even tell you why, because my parents were kind of apolitical, but I've always been into politics. So I always assumed I was going to do this. Thought it might be a little bit further down the road, but 2016 happened, and then I started finding I started hearing about Run for Something, and I started getting involved in their group. I was like, no, maybe I'll just volunteer this year and do that kind of thing. And next thing I know, I'm talking to my wife about running, and then I've got the county chair of our party in our house the day before Christmas Eve, and she's convincing me to run, and here we are, 11 months ago now, I guess, and like I said, we've knocked 6,000 doors. We've got so much energy behind this. It's going to be really close. Like I think both sides will tell you they feel that way. And just the fact that it's going to be really close tells you how much hard work we've done, considering when Trump got 59% of the vote in our district. So yeah, we've got an amazing reception. I can't believe how far we've come. Like when I started this, I was like, well, I'll at least get a name on the ballot. I'll give voters a choice, because we haven't even had a Democratic candidate since 2010 in my district. And to the point now where people are calling the race a toss-up. I mean, it's just an amazing feeling, but people calling it a toss-up doesn't mean anything. We got to keep working. We've got 30-something odd days left, and we're going to try to hit every voter in the district one more time before the election day, and so we see this thing through to the end.
Don, is there anything else that you want to make sure we talk about?
So we hit on clean water a little bit. That's certainly a passion of mine and certainly something we're going to be dedicated to after we win. We talked about working class issues. The other big issue in my district is just we kind of have the tale of two school districts in my RD. To the southern portion of the district, which is more towards the resort area, is Cape and Lopin School District. And they get about 60% more funding than kids in the neighboring district, which is Milford School District. And in my opinion, that's just not how it should be. Like, it does not matter if you're in the poorest of inner cities, if you're in the poorest of rural areas, or the most affluent area in San State. Every child should have equal opportunity and access to a world-class education. And that's something we're going to fix. It's not going to be easy because it's been done one way for so long, but we are going to fix that. So that will be the most important thing we haven't covered yet.
All right, great. And if our listeners would like to help support your campaign, how can they do that?
Our website is allan4de.net, and Allan is spelled Allan. I can think a distant relative who didn't want to be associated with another distant relative for changing the way my last name is spelled. But we're on Facebook at Don Allan DE, facebook.com/Don Allan DE. My Twitter handle is Don Allan DE. So all spelled Allan. So that's how they can help. All the information about all our campaign, Interact Blue, and all that kind of stuff is up there. If they'd like the phone bank, we have all that set up. So we could certainly use help, and we certainly accept any and all help from everywhere. We had people doing lighter stuff for us last night that live about 100 miles away from us. So that was pretty cool. We're definitely getting some help from up and down the state and even the surrounding states. So we'd love any and all help anybody can offer us, no matter where they're at.
All right. Excellent. Well, Don, thanks so much for talking to us. We are thrilled both that you're running and that we found someone in Delaware to talk to.
We're the first state, and yet we're the last state for you guys.
Well, you're not actually the last state that we're talking to. It was just the last state that we secured the interview in. So listeners, stay tuned. I promise you all the other states you haven't heard from yet are coming. Even Hawaii, which I was worried was going to be the very hardest. So we're going to get them all.
Yeah, we're like Hawaii. We have beaches.
Not quite as overwhelmingly Democratic as Hawaii. Hawaii was very tough. So, Don, thank you.
Thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for listening to Two Broads Talking Politics. Our theme song is called Are You Listening? Off of the album Elephant Shaped Trees by the band Immunuri, and we're using it with permission of the band. Our logo and other original artwork is by Matthew Weflin and was created for use by this podcast.